This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
At the TV tapings in Atlanta, you would defeat Tommy Angel, and then in the evening up in Baltimore, you and Tully would lose to Sting and Nikita by DQ. Also on this show, the Powers of Pain would make their final appearance before showing up in the WWF just over a week later. Was this defection a surprise? I mean, at the time, they're 2/3 of the reigning 6-man tag champs with Ivan Koloff, and the rumor and innuendo is they wanted out before this Bash tour started, as they were going to be up against the Road Warriors every night in scaffold matches, which meant, well, the Road Warriors weren't falling off of that. What do you remember about Warlord and Barbarian saying, I think we'll try New York for a bit?
Well, I don't remember that being booked that way as far as scaffold matches, but I can assure you they weren't going to do a single one of those. That was a deciding factor right away. It was a backdoor conversation. They weren't going to risk that. Who would? I wouldn't have. I couldn't have. I would have blown a knee out for damn sure.
It's interesting to think exactly a year later, June of '89, so many of the talent here would have moved to the WWF. Both yourself and Tully Blanchard, Barry Windham, JJ Dillon, Dusty Rhodes, even Tony Schiavone. It's a whole heck of a lot of Jim Crockett Promotions talent that's going to be there just 1 year later. But Warlord and Barbarian here, was this almost like for you and Tully? Let's see how it works out for them.
Well, yeah, they were the first to go, right?
Yeah.
Barb and Warlord.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. We certainly saw in '87 where Ravishing Rick Rude went, but I just know that you guys are just a handful of months away from making that same decision yourself. And I just wondered, what does that look like from your perspective? Hey, here's another tag team, some guys that we know, like, and trust pretty well as your buddy Barry Darso up there saying, hey man, you got to come check this out. It feels like it would have at least been something you and Tully would have thought, let's see what happens with these boys.
Oh, we're sure curiosity, would have been very, very high, but we also knew Vince loved big guys and he would have a special place for those guys. What we brought to the table, we were very confident in. We couldn't wait to get our hands on the Rockers. We had that conversation before we ever even decided that we were going to go up there. Boy, would I like to work with those guys. We were very, very keen on what went on with those guys. And, I keep like 48 days, I think we're talking about. What was it? 46 straight days.
Crazy. Yeah.
We sat down, looked at it on paper, and we saw what it was going to be. And we've been through, I hope that our audience understands when we go through these travel schedules and what town you're in that morning, where you end up that night, and then where you at the next morning, and all that was involved in the travel was so difficult. And to be facing 46 straight days all over the country, I mean, you knew you were going to probably bleed to death or damn near it. Risking injury, possibly, but you damn sure knew you were going to get traveled to death. And there was a little bit of dread. The only thing that saved us, and I go back to that same hold, is without those private planes, it would have been impossible.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.